One thing that I really like about Elon Musk is the way he formulates purpose. I think purpose is absolutely key, and I want to talk a little bit more about that in this episode. This is the Not Even Wrong podcast. It's July 8th, 2020. This is Krim Delko. Update for today. We are down 60 basis points. The market is up 25 basis points. We are for the year up 119%. I'm sorry, 117%, and the market is down 2%, so we outperformed by 119%. Uh, Today's performance comes primarily from the CRISPR basket. Tesla was down, and the rest was roughly flat. We also changed some of our positions. We increased our CRISPR basket situation, and we switched Intel from stock into long-term options for various reasons that I'm gonna talk about maybe a bit later, not in this episode. This episode is about purpose, and I just want to start with something that I came across yesterday on Twitter. Elon Musk answered to a question why he's long stock or if he might be selling stock if it rallies and things like that. He answered the following. He said, essentially, long-term purpose of my Tesla stock is to help make life multiplanetary to ensure its continuance. The massive capital needs are in the 10 to 20 years. By then, if we're fortunate, Tesla's goal of accelerating sustainable energy and autonomy will be mostly accomplished. I just love this concise way of stating not just one, but two purposes for two of his companies. One, Tesla, accelerating sustainable energy and autonomy. And second, SpaceX, help make life multiplanetary to ensure its continuance. I think we cannot underestimate the value of these statements because they give us investors a reason to invest, and much, much more importantly, they give employees a reason to go to work. And I think this is really what Elon Musk is good at. It's to rally not just the troops to get the job done, but rally the troops to get dreams and inspirations aligned with something that we call purpose. And I think humans are very good at that. Humans are not hamsters. That means we need to have a purpose. The definition of purpose is the reason for which something is done. That's the definition in the dictionary. And humans are unbelievably good at that. If you put us into a situation where we just function, where we don't have purpose, we lose inspiration, we lose motivation, we die. I would even go as far as say the definition of life from a human perspective is to have purpose, as opposed to, let's say, a bacteria or a drop of water or or like a protein that goes around in a chemical reaction or something like that. We humans have the ability to model the world and think about what our purpose could be in that particular model that we have of the world. And this is what drives us. And Elon Musk, he's just one little pawn in this big chess game, but he's a very important pawn because he's able to rally, to leverage brain power to achieve purpose, which is very, very ambitious. He wants to accelerate sustainable transport, sustainable energy, autonomy. By the way, that's new. The purpose of Tesla has always been to accelerate the advent of sustainable energy, and now all of a sudden it's also autonomy. So there's a little bit of a twist there, which I think is important. And I think autonomy is one of the biggest bull cases for Tesla. But let's put that aside now. The purpose is to drive the transformation to sustainable energy. And then there's the purpose to have a multiplanetary civilization. Those are massive goals. But if people have that kind of North Star, it's easier to wake up, it's easier to get stuff done. And I believe that it's possible. We've done much, much more difficult things. We've conquered America, Columbus. We've developed the steam engine out of nothing. We've fought revolutions against the redcoats. We've, done crazy stuff. Napoleon conquered Europe. People can do amazing things when they have purpose. And when they don't have purpose, they flatten out. I think that's the main difference between disruptive companies like Tesla and incumbents like Ford or GM. It's the purpose. It's the North Star. Why do we do what we do? We at Orange Capital Partners have a purpose, and the purpose is to generate wealth by investing in disruptive technologies with large social impact. This is our purpose. It aligns very well with the purpose of Tesla, and that's why Tesla is our largest position. I think having a purpose is not just essential to explain to our investors what we do and give them a reason to invest. It's also essential for us to understand why we're doing what we're doing, so we can also understand what are the mistakes we're making. When are we not aligned with our purpose? It's a very good way to calibrate ourselves. Are we doing the right thing? Is the agenda that I'm looking at in the morning, what am I going to do today? Is this aligned with my purpose? Now, look, I'm not doing that every day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not waking up in the morning and thinking about my purpose all the time. But every now and then I have to rethink, what am I doing? Is this the right way to go after things, particularly when things go wrong? A year ago, Tesla stock was collapsing. Our largest position was Tesla. We were losing investors. And we had to sit back and think, what is our purpose? Why are we doing what we're doing? Should we not be doing what we're doing? Should we do something else? And the answer was no, because I think we have a special knowledge, a special skill to allocate capital to disruptive technologies with large social impact. That's not something that people just are born with. It's you can't learn that in school. You can't learn that at university. We have acquired that skill through experience, through foundational knowledge, through skill development, through a lot of reading and studying and experience. But most importantly, we've gone through this many, many times, through the volatility and uncertainty of running a portfolio. So we have the ability to allocate capital to disruptive technologies with large social impact. So our purpose is something that is worth working for and something that we can actually do. So it helped us, it helps our investors, and it's also very helpful to have a conversation with our portfolio companies. When we talk to Tesla, or when we talk to the CRISPR companies, which are our second largest position as a basket, we know what we're talking about. We are not talking around the bush. What's your purpose? The purpose of the CRISPR companies is to accelerate the transition of Eroom's law to something like Moore's law. What does that mean? That means that Eroom's law, which is the reverse of Moore's law, which is something that was coined, I think, in the 1980s in Nature magazine, which says that drug development, or generally pharmaceutical development, instead of getting more efficient, like Moore's law in microprocessors, it's the opposite. It gets less and less efficient, more expensive. So for the same dollar, we get less, or we have to invest a lot more money to get the same value in the pharmaceutical industry. CRISPR is one of the main purposes of CRISPR as a disruptive technology is to change that, to get efficiency, engineering efficiency into the pharmaceutical development, which should help bring down healthcare costs and also, of course, help people's health. I think CRISPR also has other purposes, such as harnessing the technology and the ability to edit the genome in organisms for food production, energy production, plant management, ecological management, climate change management. In the long term, I think CRISPR has the potential to become the first disruptive technology that really helps build a regenerative economy. That's for another podcast. I'm just stating that here. So the purpose, again, aligns very well with our purpose, and therefore we're comfortable holding these stocks. And also, on a daily basis, they can be up and down 10%. It can happen. We're comfortable with those positions because they align with our purpose. And just to come back to the name of the podcast, Not Even Wrong, which was coined by Wolfgang Pauli, and which in essence means that if you do something, you have to earn the right to be right and wrong by having a theory, a method by which you can measure if you're right or wrong. And if you're not even wrong, that means you don't have that, and that means that your chances of success are very small. So we at Orange Capital Partners have the aim to build a method and a thesis around our investments that earns us the right to be right or wrong. We can be wrong. That's not the end of the world. What's much worse for us and any other investor is to be walking around in this fog of not even wrongness, where we have some sort of recursive thesis like, oh, I invested in this company because they have good management, and good management makes them competitive, and they're competitive because they have good management. Some sort of recursive gibberish that really means nothing, and we're just hoping that we get lucky. That's not the case with our investments. If we have the sense that the purpose of Tesla is changing, or that the company is not executing against the purpose, then we would have to reconsider investment. That doesn't mean, for example, Tesla's purpose is to accelerate autonomy. Now, maybe it will take longer. A lot of people make fun of Tesla. Oh, the self-driving is not happening. Fine. I mean, look, give them a break. They're trying. It's hard. It's never been done. But are they working towards this goal? Are they investing massively brain power and capital? Actually, not even that much capital. It's more brain power. Are they bringing in people that have that goal to generate autonomy, to develop engineering, which is enabling some sort of autonomy? Yes, they are. Andrej Karpathy is a good example, and many other people. I forgot the name of the gentleman which is doing the chip development there, but I mean, they have their own chip development. So clearly, Tesla is very dedicated to the purpose of accelerating autonomy in transportation. Are they working on advanced battery technology to accelerate the sustainable energy in transportation? Of course they are. And they're doing many more things which are aligned with the purpose. So we're very comfortable with the purpose. And to summarize, we are most comfortable. If there's one thing that we really like about Elon Musk, it's his ability to formulate a clear purpose for his companies. And that's why we're investors. Thank you.